Hello math learners! Learning quartile for ungrouped data is very easy. Yes, you heard it right. Because in this video, I will teach you the things you need to know on how to master quartiles for ungrouped data. So before anything else, hit that subscribe button and notification bell for you to be updated of these cool clear math videos just like this. So without further ado, let's do this. Alright math learners, welcome to our channel. So in this video, we will be talking about the terminologies you need to understand about this topic. So let's start. So first thing you need to learn is to know the terminologies inside this topic. So what are the terms we will be encountering? The first one, what is ungrouped data? The second is the measure of position. Next is the quartile. Then we have the lower quartile, the middle quartile, and the upper quartile. Of course, in this video, you will also learn the method in solving the quartiles by the Mendenhall and the Sinsich method, as well as the linear interpolation if needed. And last but not the least, we will be talking about the interquartile range. So let us start, my dear math learners. So what is an ungrouped data? Ungrouped data is basically a type of data that has not been organized or grouped into specific categories. It is also known as raw data or ungrouped data. Of course, example, if you have some scores in a test, so if those data are just being written down and it is not being grouped into a categorized form, therefore that set of data is known as the ungrouped data. That's simply it is. Now, what is the measures of position? Now, the measures of position in statistics are categorized in three types. The first one is the quartile, the decile, and the percentile. Of course, among this, we also have the measurement of central tendency known as the median. Now, the median here is basically a part of the quartile, the decile, and the percentile. So later on, or in the next videos that we will be having, we will be talking about quartiles, deciles, and percentiles of ungrouped data as well as grouped data. Alright. Now, this aims to find the markers in the distribution of data. So basically, if you have a value or a score, and we are trying to know where that score belong to, whether it is in the lower, the upper, or in the middle. So by the measures of position, we can know where it is belong. Alright, now let's go about our main topic, the quartile. So what is a quartile? Quartile is the position in fourth that the data value holds in a distribution. It divides the distribution into four groups. Of course, from the word quartile, from the word quar means four. Alright, and it is separated into four groups known as the quartile 1, 2, and quartile 3. Of course, the quartile 4 is also the highest value of the distribution. Another thing is that the median is the value that occupies the middlemost position of the distribution. So if you have this kind of data, so if it is arranged from smallest data to the highest data value, so basically the middle one here is known as the quartile 2. The first preceding mark is known as the quartile 1, and we have here the quartile 3. Of course, the quartile 2 is the middle of our data set. So basically, this is also known as the median in the measures of central tendency. Alright, so later on, we will be having a discussion on how to get the value of the median given an example. Alright, now let us continue. What is a lower quartile? So lower quartile is known as the first quartile. It is the value under the 25% of the data points that are found in the arranged increase order. So basically, if we are talking about quartile 1, so this is the mark of the quartile 1. So all the data here is under the lower quartile. Okay, so of course, value above the quartile 1 is going to the second quartile, the third quartile, and the fourth quartile, depending on the value that you have. All right. So I hope that is very clear, my dear math learner. Now, how about the middle quartile? So as what I've said earlier, the middle quartile is the second quartile, and this is also known as the median. Okay, so in getting the median, it is very easy, my dear math learners, because so if you are in the grade 10, you have already been discussed when you were in grade 7 about the measures of central tendency. And what are those? Those are mean, median, and mode. All right, but we still discuss that in this video. All right, so we have here the middle for our quartile 2. Okay, now, how about the upper quartile? Upper quartile is known as the third quartile or the Q3 of our data set. It is the 75% of the data point found when arranged in the increasing order. So basically, we have here our quartile 3, my dear math learners. So I hope that is very clear. All right. So we have the example. Find the quartiles of this data set. We have 6, 47, 49, 15, 43, 41, 7, 39, 43, 41, and 36. Now, my dear math learners, the very technique here in getting the quartiles of our data set is first, we need to arrange them in the data points from the order. So, we start from the smallest, then next, up to the highest data point. All right, so I hope that is clear. So, by doing so, we have here, so we have 6, 7, 15, 36, 39, 41, 41, 43, 43, 47, and 49. So we have now our arranged data points. So it is very important for us math learners that we know how many data points we have. So if we count the data points, we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 11. So we have n here as 11, my dear math learners. So if we try to solve this, my dear math learners, we have here 5 data points, and we also have here 5 data points. Of course, we already know that the middle part of this is 41. So that is considered automatically as our Q2 or the quartile 2. And of course, in our definition, the quartile 2 is also known as the median. Alright, so I hope that is very clear, my dear math learners. So the next question is, how do we solve for quartile 1 and quartile 3? Now, this is where the confusion starts, my dear math learners, because some books are confusing in delivering how to get this kind of method. Why? Because when the number of data points are odd, then it is very easy to know the middle point, right? So this is the one. Now, in getting the middle between the lowest to the middle, then that is the part where they will be having a confusion, because some are considering or including the median to the middle, and some don't. That might be confusing because some do not know if the median itself is included in the data point. So in order to erase this confusion, we will now consider the next part, and that would be the Mendenhall and the Shinsich method. Okay, so to find the lower quartile, there is a formula. Okay, so the formula is 1/4 multiplied to the sum of n and 1. Now the result here is rounded up if it has a decimal point. If it doesn't, then that automatically is the position of that quartile 1 element. Okay, so how do we do that, my dear math learners? So, of course, given the formula, we have L is equal to 1/4 times n plus 1. Now, the next question here is, what do we mean by n? So, n represents the number of elements in the given data set. Now, if you can consider, there are 11 data points that is being given. So, therefore, what we need to do is you just substitute the value of n by 11 and added by 1. So the answer for that one would be 12. Of course, what is 1/4 of 12? So that is 12 over 4, or basically 3. Now, this 3 here doesn't mean that it is the value of the quartile 1, but it is the position where the quartile 1 is located. So it is in the third data point. So if we have here 6, 7, and 15, we have now our 15 as the value of our quartile 1. Alright. Easy, right? Okay, so very easy. Now, how about the upper quartile? Now, to find for the upper quartile, my dear math learners, we also use a formula. So, if in the lower quartile, we use 1/4, now in the upper quartile, since it is talking about the 75% of the whole data set, then we will be using the fraction 3/4. Alright, so it is just the same as the lower quartile, but the difference here is that instead of 1/4, we will be using 3/4. Okay, and then whatever value that we will get in this solution, then we will round it down. Okay, so that is the difference between the lower quartile and the upper quartile. If there are decimal points that has an answer in the lower quartile, we round it up. Okay, so regardless whether it is 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, or 0.5, then we will always round up for lower quartile. But for upper quartile, regardless of the decimal, we will round it down. Alright, so we go to our solution. So still given these data points, we will now be solving for our upper quartile, our Q3. Okay, so quartile 3. So in order to do so, we use the 3/4 times n plus 1, which is the formula given. So of course, same goes that we have our 11 as our total for our data point, and that would give us 3/4 times 12. Alright, so of course, if you are getting the 3/4 of 12. That means 3 times 12, that is 36. 36 divided by 4. Alright, so the answer is 9. Again, a reminder, my dear math learners, that 9 here is not the answer, but 9 here is the position where we will be locating our quartile 3. So it is the 9. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9. So that would be 43. So this will be our quartile 3. So earlier, we already have our quartile 1, which is 15, and our quartile 2, which is the middle of that, is here, 41. So that is our value for our given data set. Okay, so very easy, my dear math learners. Now, of course, we will talk about what ifs. So now, what if we are given a data set that is an even number? So if we try to count the number of data points in this given data set, we have only n as 10. Alright, so how do we get the median, the quartile 1 and the quartile 3, or the lower and the upper quartile? So you just get the middle of the given. So if we have here, there are 4 here, alright, 4 data points, and we also consider the 4 here, okay? So of course, the number of n here is 10, right? Not unlike earlier, we have 11. So what if we only have 10? It is an even number. So how do we get the middle of it? Now, of course, so there are 4 data points here, 4 data points here. So the middle data points, this one. So we have 39 and 41. Of course, in order to get the median of that, if you still remember your lesson in median, okay, in the measure of central tendency, so if that would be the case, we just get the average of that one and we divide it by 2. So basically, the answer here is 80 divided by 2. Answer is 4. So this means this is your quartile 2 for this given data set. Now, how about quartile 1? So in quartile 1, we just use the formula, okay? So 1/4 times n plus 1, which our n here is 10. So that will give us 10 plus 1. And of course, that is 1/4 of 11. Okay, so of course, so 11 divided by 4, the answer for that is 2.75. And if we remember the rule in our quartile, we will round it up. So that will be the third position. So if that would be the case, our quartile 1 here in this given is okay. So that's the case. Now, how about for our upper quartile? So we have here upper quartile, that is 3/4 of n plus 1. So if we already know that n plus 1 equal to 11, from 10 plus 1, we will be dealing with 33 divided 4. Okay, because 11 times 3. Now, if that would be the case, the answer for this one is 8.25. And applying the rule in our Mendenhall and Sinzich method, we round it down. So therefore, rounding down 8.25.8. So it is our 8th position. So we have here, in our given data set, we have 43 for our quartile, my dear math learners. So applying quartiles in a data set that is even number or odd number of elements, we can solve it using the Mendenhall-Sinzich method. However, there are also arguments that if we wanted to get the actual value of the quartile, there is still another method, and that is what we call the linear interpolation. So in this linear interpolation, my dear math learners, it is often used to find the estimated median, quartiles, or percentiles of a set of data. Okay, so example, if we have given here, using linear interpolation, find the data values of the quartile 1, 2, and 3 in the data set. So still given our example earlier. Now, I will show you that this linear interpolation gives the exact value of the data set. So how do we apply linear interpolation in this one? Okay, so first things first, we need to consider what we have solved in the Mendenhall. So of course, if you still remember earlier, in this given data set, our lower quartile is 2.75, right? While our upper quartile is 8.25. Okay, so that is our exact value earlier if we will not apply the rundown and the round of the rules in the Mendenhall and the Sinzich method, while our quartile 2 has the exact value of 4. Okay, so now how do we apply linear interpolation? Let's talk first about our lower quartile. So in the lower quartile, my dear math learner, we have to subtract the second data to the third data. So if we consider this one, the 2.75 here, it means that our quartile 1 is located in the middle of the second and in the third data point. All right, so it means that we will consider the 7 and the 15 here. Okay, then after that, if we subtract them, we will multiply the result to the decimal point or decimal part obtained in the formula. And then we add that to our second or the smaller number. So I will show you what I mean, my dear math learners. So of course, we have 2.75, right? So 2.75 is between 2, the second, and the third. Okay? So of course, I will be using this data point. So what I will do is I will subtract it. So 15 minus 7, the answer for that is 8. So that is step number 1. Then for step number 2, we will multiply the decimal parts in our formula. So since in our lower quartile formula, we have the decimal point 0.75. So that 0.75 will be multiplied here at our 8. So that is 8 times 0.75. And the answer for that one is 6. Okay, so that 6, my dear math learner, is the result of our step 2. And then for our step 3, we will be doing 6 plus, so step 3 is add the result in step 2 to the small number. Okay, so between 7 and 15, what is the small number here? That is 7. So we will be adding 6 by 7, and the answer for that is 30. This means that the exact value of our quartile 1 is 30. Okay, so if we consider it has a different value earlier in our round up for the Mendenhall and Sinsich method. So of course, if you are asked to solve for quartile, you need to clarify first whether you are applying the linear interpolation or just the simple Mendenhall and Sinsich method for you not to be confused. Now, let us go to the linear interpolation for upper quartile. So, for the upper quartile, my dear math learners, we also apply what we have learned in the lower quartile. And that is considering where our upper quartile is located. So we have here 8.25. So it is in between the 8th and the 9th position. So since our data points has 10 elements, so we have here as our 8th and 9th position. So of course, if we subtract that one for our step 1, that would be 43 minus 4, and the answer is 0. Then the 0 multiplied by 0.25, which is the decimal part of our formula, so still we will be obtaining 0. Of course, now we will add that one to the smaller value. Of course, since they are the same, then we can say that 0 added by 40, the answer is still, okay, 43. So the value for our quartile 3 is 43. Okay, so earlier, the value for our quartile 1 is 13, right? So of course, my dear math learners, I hope you can now distinguish the difference between applying and solving quartiles through the Mendenhall and method compared to the linear interpolation. And last but not least, another discussion here is known as the interquartile range. Now, the interquartile range, my dear math learners, is defined as the difference between quartile 3 and quartile 1. And it is also known as the middle or the 50% of the data set. So, of course, if we have considered our interpolation earlier, so we have our formula, interquartile range is equal to our quartile 3 subtracted by the quartile 1. And if we can still remember, our quartile 3 in the interpolation is 40 and our quartile 1 is 13. So if we subtract them, the answer here is, so it means that this is the range of the middle 50% of our set. Okay, so my dear math learners, so these values that we just have learned in the quartiles on ungrouped data is very important, my dear math learners, because we need to interpret them based on, so the next part of it is the interpretation. So for the interpretation, my dear math learner, we already know how to solve for quartile 1, quartile 2, and the lower and the upper, as well as then we also know the way on how to solve for the interquartile range. Now, given that you know how to solve them, the next question, how do we interpret them in statistics? So it is very important, my dear math learners, that you also know how to interpret the value of that one. Okay, if we consider our quartile 1 earlier in the linear interpolation, if we have 13 as the quartile 1, if your score is below 13 or in 13 or 13, it means that you belong in the low 25% of the whole class. Okay, so it means it is very low. However, if you have the score that is 40, which is our median, it means that you belong in the middle group of the, so 50% of your class is lower than you and 50% of your class is higher than you. Okay, so that is how you interpret it. And how about our quartile 3? which is 43. So if your score is 43 in the dataset early, it means that you belong in the upper quartile. It means that 75% of the student is lower than you, and you belong to the upper 25%. Okay? So it is very important, my dear math learners, that you know how to interpret these values in solving for the measures of position, because this will tell you where you belong in your score if you are trying to know your position or your score compared to the whole class. Okay, my dear math learners. So my dear math learners, I just like to congratulate because you just mastered this lesson. And if you enjoy our discussion, I hope you can subscribe, like, and share this video to your fellow friends, classmates, and school. If you do have some questions or confusions about our discussion, feel free to put your queries in our comment section below. This has been your edu creator, Math Teacher Ash. And always remember, it is fun to learn mathematics if we are together learning. Thank you so much. God bless. And keep safe always.